Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa Musi and I'm welcoming you to my Mother's Day baking class sponsored by RX Sugar, which is a product I've been using for years and I love. And as you know, I am pre-diabetic and these are the sweeteners that I use. You're going to learn a lot of how to bake with allulose, which is an amazing sweetener, which is zero net carbs, 0 calories, and 0 glycemic. So it has no impact on your blood sugar. So I have a glucose monitor. And I know, and I've tested the product many, many times. So I'm really excited to share this 3-part series of this baking class that we made specifically for RX Sugar to make for Mother's Day. So we have, this is the first class of the recipe. So today we have the bundt cake, which is raspberry white chocolate. And the next class will be, we have the chocolate cake and we have a passion fruit cheesecake, which I love as well. And so please join the giveaway. We have a giveaway for all the US people. So you're going to get a kit of RX Sugar products, which are really, really life-changing in every way because you're going to use them for a lot of applications. So make sure you join the giveaway. The recipe will be posted later on here in this video. You'll see it. You'll click below to see the recipe. Okay, so don't worry about the ingredients or how much we use of each. Just make sure you follow along and see the recipe now. Okay, so use the code Chef Vanessa Musi, Chef Vanessa 20 to get a discount on any of these products. So let me show you what we have. So we have, these are sticks that you can sweeten your coffee or tea or matcha, take on a travel or whatever, which are amazing. And we also have like this, which are sweetened for, and different flavors, which are really, really nice if you don't want regular water. And then these are pancake syrups. If you have diabetes or insulin resistance or are pre-diabetic, these are amazing because there is no aftertaste and there's no side effects. And so this is pancake syrup. And then this is the allulose, which is plain. And you can use this for syrup, for, you know, like a raspberry syrup or that kind of thing. So I use this a lot actually, and to make caramels. And we're going to be baking with allulose, this sugar like this. So what are the substitutions? So take note, technically, and this is what it's advised by the company, use 1.25 times the amount of sugar. Why? Because, so let's say if you have 1 cup of sugar, you're going to be using 1 cup and a quarter of allulose because it's less sweet than sugar. So sugar sweetens 100% and allulose sweetens like 75%. So to compensate that, we usually add a little more. I typically do not do that. I'm going to break the rules a little bit. So I use 1-to-1, and I will post it in the notes below. So I use 1 cup of sugar to 1 cup of allulose, okay? Just make sure you understand it's going to be less sweet. It's not going to be as sweet as sugar. And especially, it works really well, that my substitution when we're making caramel or glazes or jams, I use the same amount of sugar. So let me pull this up, take this away, and we're going to start baking. Okay, yeah. So before we start baking this amazing recipe, which I really, really like because it's really special for Mother's Day, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Vanessa Musi. I pioneered healthy baking more than 30 years ago, and I lived in Mexico. I'm from Mexico City, and I was diagnosed with hypoglycemia. I fainted in my internship studying to be a chef. And so here is my baking school here in Austin, Texas, where we do online classes and hands-on workshops and recipe development. So this is a baking lab. This is where I test all the products. And I've been using all the different sweeteners for like over 30 years. And so I'm pretty much an expert at this. And so here we are. Take notes. This is an amazing recipe. So this is going to be a raspberry bundt cake. I already baked one, so you don't have to wait for all the process. And we're going to decorate it together, and we'll do this step by step. So make sure you follow along. Okay, so this recipe is the series of these 3 recipes. So today and the next days, they're all gluten-free, they're sugar-free, they're diabetic-friendly. They're not going to spike your blood sugar, and we're going to test them. So anyway, they're great for people with diabetes or insulin resistance or pre-diabetes. Okay, so what do we have here? And again, this recipe is gluten-free. So I'm going to be using almond flour. So, and the recipe will be listed below. We're going to use the RX sugar allulose. And it's not a huge amount. It's 70 grams. And I'm going to be using grams because it's easier to bake with. 2 eggs, room temperature. And it's a very simple recipe because honestly, anybody can make it at home. You don't need any fancy equipment. 2 eggs, room temperature, a really good vanilla extract, and really good sea salt, and baking powder. We're going to use a little bit of xanthan gum to bind the cake together. It needs a little bit of a strengthening. So xanthan gum, really good white chocolate. So this is sugar-free, or you can add a little bit of normal chocolate depending on how your blood sugar is. You can eliminate it or not. I'm going to use a really good quality white chocolate. It's not a lot. We have macadamia milk or almond milk, heavy whipping cream, just regular, not sweetened of course, and we have avocado oil, or you could use coconut oil melted, and a little bit of raspberries, which are fresh. That's all we need for the cake itself. And I'm going to show you some tricks. We have our oven preheated. So one of the tricks with baking with allulose, and that's the most important, it's the temperature of your oven. Allulose is really nice because it's really soft. It gets a lot of moisture. But one of the disadvantages is that it browns really fast. So to compensate for that, you have to lower your oven temperature a lot. So 325 instead of 350. So we're lowering 25 degrees of your oven. Ideally a convection oven. So make sure you lower that a lot, because if not, it's going to get really, really dark. That's one of the things. So let's start. I'm just going to need 2 bowls, and you need a sifter, colander like this. Okay. And we're going to need a whisk and a spatula. So make sure you guys ask us any questions in the comments. Let us know where you're coming from and if you've baked with allulose before. So here it is, super simple. So by the time I'm starting to mix this, which is going to take like 5 or 10 minutes, my oven is already preheated at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to show you the cake pan we have. So here is our bundt cake. I made a little bit ago. So here is the bundt cake. That's the size. What I'm going to do here is I put it in the freezer, and this is a trick. Put it in the freezer until you're ready to bake, like half an hour before. And before you bake, pull it out, spray it with coconut. I'll show you. I'm just going to keep it in the freezer for a little bit. And that's a trick of the trade, just so that it unmolds really easily. So here I'm going to whisk the eggs, room temperature. Okay, so this is our baking tray. This is our mise en place. All the ingredients are laid out specifically. So I'm a professionally trained pastry chef, so I like to have everything exact for exact results. Vanilla extract. I'm going to put this on the side. And here's what I like to do on this one. I'm going to sift. I'm going to start sifting baking powder, xanthan gum. You do need the xanthan gum to bind it for texture, because we're just using almond flour. If you remove that, it's going to be too wet. It's not going to hold its shape as well. But here's the almond flour. Almond flour is the one from Costco, literally. That's simple and easy and inexpensive. So I'm going to sift that here. And why am I sifting it? Because I want it to be light and spongy. So here's another trick. Another trick is you can grab your whisk and lower this like that. So that goes really fast. Okay, so that's going to make it lighter, fluffier, spongier. And I love almond flour because it really has the same kind of texture as regular flour, and it's non-glycemic, and it's great for diabetics. So that kind of a natural good fat really works well. Okay, now we're gonna add, so here we'll put this aside and we have our stuff on this tray. We're gonna add the allulose over here. So eggs, usually that's a technique, always. Eggs, vanilla, sweetener, in this case allulose. So it's a small amount, it's not a lot. So the flavor, I love the flavor of allulose because there's no aftertaste, there's no, you know, it's not bitter, it doesn't have that cooling effect. It's just really, really nice. And it's a rare sugar, it comes from raisins and fruit, and it's just a really, really nice product nowadays. And a lot of people ask me, what do you bake with that is low glycemic, that doesn't have an aftertaste? Well, I say allulose. And it's great for making jams, for making caramels, fudges, chocolate sauces, that kind of thing. So here we've mixed that. Now I'm going to add the oil for moisture. You could also add melted butter or ghee. I like the effect of oil because it just makes it more moist. And there's no, it doesn't have an effect, any taste at all. So it's really good quality avocado oil. And you could also use, you can adapt this recipe and add some lemon zest or some orange zest or some Mayer lemon zest, which also would be really nice. Okay. So now I'm adding the almond milk or macadamia milk. Make sure the milk you're using is really nice, tastes really good. Some of the almond milks that we buy are not that great. Here is a heavy whipping cream. It's not whipped, it's just as it is. And this I'm using for moisture, for fat. It just gives it a really nice texture. So if you're dairy free, I mean, you could probably use soy milk instead, which works really nicely as well. Same amount, so there we go, that's our mixture. Now I'm gonna add the dry to the wet, and now I'm gonna pull out my baking pan immediately and I'm gonna bake it. I'm gonna spray it and then I'm gonna bake it. Okay, so now we just combine the dry with the wet. Don't overmix it, you just need to integrate this simply without overmixing. Okay, that's it. It's gonna look like a pancake batter, literally. And there we go. Now we're gonna get our chocolate and our raspberries. I'll take that, and we need this. And let's get our container. Okay, so the reason why we pop this in the freezer, this is a really special trick that I learned, and I love it because it just releases any pan, any cake from a pan, especially the more difficult patterns, which are not easily released. So see how it's just frozen? I'm going to immediately spray it with coconut oil. Whatever coconut oil you find, spray. Not oil, but spray. Spray it really well. Make sure your pan is really, really, really clean from the batter before, so there's no traces of other batter. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. So the cold frozen layer is going to make a contrast with the oil, and it's going to release the cake from the pan really easily. So now I'm going to, with my spatula, I'm going to just fold this. I'm going to add the raspberries. It's really important that they're fresh, not frozen. You're going to add, and you're going to crush them. So this recipe, I really honestly was inspired by Nothing Bundt Cakes, which are very famous, and they're really good. Of course, they're loaded with sugar, and they're loaded with processed ingredients and high sugar, carbs, and all that. So basically, I just got the idea, made my own batter, and decided to kind of get their idea from how they mix the ingredients. So here, there's white chocolate and the raspberries. You could also use blueberries. You could also use cranberries, or what else could you use? blackberries as well, which would be really nice. So I'm adding this. Crush them. Why? Because you don't want them to sink, okay? I'm adding it like that. Fold it in. I'm going to add some of the white chocolate. I'm going to leave the rest for the top. So the white chocolate is in chunks like that, or chips. I'll list the brands we're using so you make sure you have the right ones. Okay, now put the batter in. So it is a small bundt cake. I mean, you can make double recipe in a larger one, but this was easier to make. So this is a 6-cup bundt cake, so it's a small one. So now we turn it, flip it down, over. Okay, so make sure the batter is evenly distributed. So it's going to take longer in the oven. It's going to take like 30 minutes in a convection oven. And this is a house oven. It's not industrial. So that's kind of the time it's more or less going to take. You can also use it and make it in a loaf pan as well. But I personally think the bundt option. So the bundt means there's a hole in the middle. And now I'm going to add the... You want to tap it so it goes in really well and there's no holes or gaps of batter. I'm going to add the rest of the chocolate here and this little bit of raspberry in here as well. So make sure you chop it up a little bit with your hands and let it go inside. Okay, so now that I've tapped it, I'm going to the oven. So 325, around 30 minutes more or less. You'll see it in a little bit. Okay. So make sure you're flipping your cake pan. So halfway through the baking, make sure you're rotating the pan so it's evenly brown on all the sides. And this happens with every oven. Some ovens have hot spots. Some ovens are hard in the back. So make sure you're constantly rotating without opening the oven a lot, right? That way you have an even color. So that's the cake. Now we're going to make the frosting because I'm going to decorate this one. I already made the frosting and I made this before, so it's ready to decorate and to taste it. And now we're going to make the frosting. So the frosting is literally the same frosting as nothing bundt cakes, of course, a lot less sweet. And it is a really nice recipe. So let's pull that out. And for this recipe, what I've done is I've turned my allulose into a powdered sugar. So this is one of the best inventions I've made with allulose. I don't think anybody has done it because I haven't seen it online or any website. So basically, I'm going to show you how to put allulose into a high-speed blender, anything like a Vitamix or a Thermomix, any high-speed blender, or even one of those spice grinders. You could do that. Make sure when you open it, there's a little serving spoon. Take it out. If not, you're gonna pulverize that as well, and it's gonna be plastic. So make sure you take it out with your hands. You don't want to grind that. So here we have the powdered sugar already done. I'm going to show you how to do it, but here it is. And we have this is our cream cheese. It's really nice and soft. I've popped it in the microwave or put it in an oven or bain-marie or whatever you want. It's super soft. And here we have our butter. So the butter is not the European butter. It's the American style butter, which is whiter. And it's really soft, so anything like Land O'Lakes, Challenger, or Kirkland brand, which is just a small amount. We have some Malden sea salt, and we have some vanilla bean powder. If you don't have powder, you could use a little bit of extract, not too much because it'll turn brown. And now we're gonna, so let me make the frosting and then we'll make the powdered sugar, okay? So let's start over here. So with a powdered sugar, you can do all sorts of things. You can make a white glaze. You can make, you could sift it on top to decorate this cake. There's so many applications, and you'll see in the next classes what we're going to make as well. So. So here we're just going to whisk, literally. You could do it in a blender, high-speed mixer, whatever. We're going to just mix the ingredients together. So make sure the cream cheese is like this. It's really, really soft. So I popped it in the microwave for like 30 seconds, literally. Okay, we're gonna mix this. Super easy. It took me a lot of trials to get to that recipe, but it's really simple at the end of the day. So here's the really soft cream cheese over here, and I'm gonna add the powdered allulose. So they don't sell it like that. You have to make it. We're gonna make it right now. Then we're going to add our vanilla bean powder. Like I said, you can substitute it with vanilla extract. And we can add the Maldon salt or any fine sea salt. And the butter has got to be really soft, and super creamy. I'm going to add that as well. It's just a very small amount. And why do we use butter here? Just so it is nice and fluffy and really nice texture. So it's like a cream cheese frosting for a carrot cake, but a little bit less sweet. Okay, so mix this. So this you can make in advance, the day before. Just make sure there's no lumps of butter or lumps of cream cheese. Those you can't take off later on. So that's it, super easy. It goes really nice on a red velvet cake, and it goes really nice on a pumpkin cake as well. So there we go. So this will set, that's how fast that was done, and it will set and it will become thicker. So make sure you grab a spatula, test it out. There's no lumps. If you had lumps, you could use an immersion blender, but we're fine here. Okay. So super nice and creamy over there. Now what do we do? Because you're not going to be able to put it like that. So we're going to put it into a pastry bag. So it could be anything like this. You could use a Ziploc bag. And I'm going to put a pastry tip like this, a round one like that. And I'm going to open this up and cut this. So we pull out our tip. Make sure there's like a little, you put it in like that so it won't come out. Use like a cylinder of some sort so you can put the batter in. And now we're going to add all of this. So this is barely enough to make the lines like you've seen in the photo. Now I'm also going to rotate the cake. I can smell it already. Okay, so that's done like that. Just pull it down like if it was toothpaste and make sure there's no air gaps in here. Just pull it out and go like that, okay? Let the air come out, pull it down, and make sure it comes out super easy. You can chill it for like a half hour and chill it like this. Make sure it's tight in the bottom and store it like this and put it in the fridge. So I already have one that I made before, so it was cooler and it's easier to decorate. So let me show you what we're going to do here. And now we're also going to, so if you guys have any questions on allulose, now is the time to make them. Here we're going to pulverize that, and here I'm going to grab this one I made earlier on, and I'm going to decorate that. So you could use a cake stand like this, or a rotating cake stand. This is easier to decorate, and this is for presentation purposes, so I'm going to go like that. And then, so this is the trickiest part of all, like literally is the decoration, because you're going to have to go like this. You're going to kind of make some petals. It's kind of tricky. It's not the simplest, and you have to make sure the frosting is evenly distributed and there's enough for the whole thing, because once your lines are out of whack, it's gonna, so make sure you look at the bundt cake first and you can start dividing. So you can start doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let me start with that. And so you're gonna go from the bottom to the top, not from the bottom like that, okay? So from here to here. So the texture has to go and flip upwards. It's kind of hard to do, but let's start from there. Okay, let that fall inside. Don't worry about that part. Let me make sure I put that there. Okay, that's one. Now I'm going to do the other side over here. So this is a lot of practice. Cut it down right there. Don't worry, there's going to be an ending. Okay, same here. Just a lot of visuals. Cut that down there. It's 2, and there's one more here. So keep pulling up, pull, 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 and go down that way. So that's 4. Now I'm going to make one over here. So make sure you grab the same lines, because if not, it's a disaster. And keep pulling down, keep pulling all this frosting down so it comes out. Okay, so you could leave it like that, or you could make, I don't know if we have enough for the next time. I'm just going to do it like that because I don't want to screw it up. Now I'm going to go and put the middle part in. So now you could, this is what you could do, and this is what they do at Nothing Bundt, is they grab a little spatula like this, or an angled spatula, and they put it inside. So I'm just going to do that really quickly, and I'm going to put some raspberries on top. Super simple. All right, go like this a little bit in here. And that kind of crowns the cake, right? Now I'm gonna add, so let's switch from cake stand. To that. And let's get the raspberries. Okay, so do we have any questions? How's it going? We're gonna also pulverize the sugar so you can see how that's done. I'm gonna load this with raspberries.
Well, we just got a question, but let me know when is the right time to interrupt your decoration process here. So,
well, the hard part is over, so we're good to go.
All right, well, in that case, Maria, and she's in San Diego. Hi, Maria, how you doing? Her question is, she wants to know a little bit more about RX sugar and what sort of uses it has in various baking applications. You had mentioned a little bit about that before, but probably bears repeating.
Yeah, so you could use it as powdered sugar on top of a cake. You could, like I said, I baked with it. We're gonna make 3 desserts. So today is this raspberry bundt cake. Next, I can't remember if it's next week or the week after. We're gonna do the
chocolate cream
cake.
And then the cheesecake.
And then we're gonna do a cheesecake. So we made something of vanilla, something chocolatey, and something citrusy, tropical. So it bakes really nicely in cheesecakes. It makes really nice ice creams. And we've made jams. I made a raspberry puree this morning. So you can make a frappuccino. You can make this is a raspberry puree I made this morning for a cheesecake. I mean, there's so many applications. It's like, what can it not do, right? It's just so amazing. I mean, it's one of my staple ingredients in my pantry, and I can't live without it. I mean, I literally travel with it. It's so good. So caramel sauce, a tres leches. Oh gosh, we've made everything, literally. Like, even a really nice condensed milk. I mean, all those kind of applications. Even lemon curd, pastry cream, all those things it does really well. So anyway, that's our cake.
Yeah, and just to add to that, if there's tons of recipes that you've done. Many of them are on our website. Some of them are going to be appearing here in the YouTube channel. So, by the way, everyone that's watching this, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, and turn on the little bell symbol. That way you'll be notified when there's other lives and new videos that are popping up on YouTube. So we really thank you for that. Let's see if there's other questions. JC says, hi, I'm from north of the Bay Area. What stores sell RX sugar? And what brand do you recommend for the bundt cake, the mold? So thank you, JC.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, great question.
So like I said, you can use my code Chef Vanessa 20 on the website directly. So we'll put the link below. But anyway, you can also find it most stores. So I would say, trying to think, Amazon has it for sure. What other stores locally? I mean, I think it depends.
Does Whole Foods have it?
Whole Foods, no, I don't think so.
Central Market?
Most websites have a store locator. Central Market, I haven't seen it, and they have a store directly on their website. That's what I would do, or Amazon. They have a store in Amazon. Typically, that's what I would have done.
That being said, if you want, you can also order from them direct. So JC, if you go to rxsugar.com and you use the discount code Chef Vanessa 20, you're going to get 20% off. So it's actually the best deal.
Yeah.
So check that out too.
Yeah, that way you're supporting the company directly. So here now I'm going to just do, the cake pan is from, it's Nordic Ware, and I got that on at Williams Sonoma or Amazon. Make sure it's a 6 cup, not the 9 cup. So it's a lot smaller because the cake batter is just enough for the 6 inch. So this will be fine for probably 6 people, 8 people, no problem. And basically when you're watching your sugar, your glucose levels and all that, you're really eating less, right? And the expectation of dessert and cake is a lot less. You're not eating those huge amounts or huge portions. So you don't need more than that, so. Okay, so now let me put this aside here, and I'm going to make the powdered sugar just so you see that. And so this is just, use a high-speed blender. This is a Thermomix. It's just going to pulverize this really well. I'm going to use the whole canister, and this is, how much is in here? Let me see. A pound, so 454 grams. Make sure you pull out the little, don't put it in the little serving spoon. I've had people put the whole thing and pulverize it. It's happened to me. Make sure, and I'm going to show you what it is because you don't want that to happen.
Well, while you do that, let me also, I already posted the store locator for RX Sugar, okay. And just a few of the grocery stores that carry it nationwide. Rite Aid, Walgreens, Publix, Kroger, Walmart, Sprouts, CVS, Meijer, Safeway, Hy-Vee, Costco, Stop and Shop, Swelty Snacks is actually their brand. So
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so you can go on their store locator, and I'm sure you will find Albertsons. I think I also see here listed. So there's a bunch of different places. Okay.
So here's the thing: the serving spoon that comes in here. Make sure you pull it out. Okay.
Yeah, otherwise you'll have pulverized plastic in your.
It's happened, and there's a lot of great stories on for that. So now we're just gonna blend it, high-speed blender, Vitamix, Thermomix, and I'm gonna put this. It's gonna sound a little.
It's loud.
It's gonna be loud. You can see the powder. So there we go. We're almost done. That's our powdered. It needs one more go, at least. So let me give it a bit of a. Okay, so pull it down, test it. It's gotta be super fine. You know, when you buy powdered sugar, they've 10x'd it. So that means they've pulverized it 10 times. That's a 10x powdered sugar. That's what that means. So, go one more. Okay. And it looks like it's done. So how do you store this? You store it in a mason jar. I'll show you mine. And it just is so amazing. So.
Well, that definitely looks like a science experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
The white, our typical white glaze that you put on a lemon cake works really great with this. So. What else have we done with answering the question of what else have we done with allulose? A dulce de leche, which is really nice. A cajeta, those kind of desserts work really.
Condensed milk, right?
Condensed milk, lemon curd, like that, okay? So just grab it with your fingers, make sure it's pulverized really, really well. You could probably do one more round. So you'll notice it when it starts sticking to this. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Okay. So there, see how it starts sticking to the lid? that's one of the indicators. So that once this is done, we're gonna pop it into our mason jar, and it'll store for like literally months. No, so you use it for all those applications we talked about. Any frostings for cupcakes, like the one we just did. I mean, even a chocolate frosting or vanilla frosting, that works really well. So anyway, this is what I wanted you to see. I'll put that, and I'll do that later. And so yeah, it's brilliant. And any savory like applications, if you want to make like a Chinese sauce or all those, I mean, the dressings and those can be done with allulose, especially with the liquid one. Okay. Okay, so that's almost done, and we're almost ready to go. I'll show you it's going to come out really soon. I'll see if I can bring out some things from the fridge so you can see that. So one of the amazing things of allulose, it doesn't crystallize, which is amazing because most of the keto or sugar-free sugars or sweeteners, they crystallize when you cook with them. They literally get crystals, so jams, that kind of thing. So this is my dulce de leche. There's no crystals, and it turned out beautiful, and it's diabetic friendly. And this is a caramel sauce over here. That, and like I said, jams, that kind of thing.
I mean, and one of the great things about using this particular product and why you've always loved it and used it well before we started talking to Art Sugar about having this live event is that it tastes like sugar.
It tastes like sugar. Yeah.
Which is like amazing,
yeah.
and there's no like aftertaste and all that
I mean,
stuff.
like literally, you can make a matcha latte, you can make a frappuccino, a caramel frappuccino, I mean, all those things which literally don't have that taste, right? So let's look at our cake pan. I can see it's almost done.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that once we're done here, we're gonna walk away with not just one bundt cake, but two?
2 bundt cakes, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I am prepared.
Yeah. I think this is done. It's actually pretty fast, so. Just put a toothpick in. It actually needs a little bit more. So make sure you lower the temperature. You can cover it, and you can put it in the bottom of the oven, right? It needs like 5 or 10 more minutes.
Hey, I had a question. So you'd mentioned lowering the temperature separate from what might be happening right now, but it is also true that with allulose you have to be mindful of the temperature because it'll brown faster than sugar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going to put in the notes what temperature you're going to bake with it. So 325 is ideal. Like not more than that. It's really going to brown it really. It's hygroscopic. That means it grabs moisture and it turns. It's kind of like baking with honey. If you've ever baked like a madeleine with honey, honey browns really fast, and allulose tends to do that. So that's one of the tricks is to lower the oven temperature. Mm-hmm. So should we cut it? Should we cut the cake? What do you think?
I think you should cut the cake.
We should cut the cake. Okay, so let's take this away. And let's see if you have any more questions.
All right, well, we got folks from all over the US. This is the moment. If you want to ask questions, it's fine. Do it now. If you want to do it live. Of course, if you have a question later, you can always continue posting in the chat, and we'll get to those questions as well. So.
Okay, so let's cut it and let's put it on a little plate.
All right, do you want to do a live close-up of that and like just get you really close in?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do that. Let's set up that extra shot, and we'll do that.
I'm going to put this up so you can see that. I mean, there's so many. Keep coming to the other classes because you're going to see more applications if you're interested in allulose. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this. I'll put this in the back here. I'm going to cut this and show you what it looks like. So cut it with a serrated knife. Let's take this. Okay, serrated knife like this. I think this is going to be done in a second.
All right, we got a question from Ursula who wants to know, what did you put on top of the cake in the oven, and why?
Because it browns, so I need to cover it. So it could be like this, or I don't use aluminum paper, but I use that.
So you just did that to protect it a little bit from the heat? Okay, got it. So you wanted it to cook, but you didn't want to have direct heat coming at it.
You could use a baking tray on top, not directly on top of the pan, but kind of over it, if that makes sense, on the top layer of the oven. I think this is done. Let's check it out. Let's test it. So I'm going to put a toothpick, and I'll let you know if it's done. Okay, so toothpick is in. See, over here. There's going to be some residual heat when you're, like this applies to any baking. There's residual heat. That means it's still cooking. Once this cools, like in 10 minutes, I'm going to put a cake base and then flip it. 10 minutes. Do not let it cool too much because it's going to start to stick to the pan, and it's going to be it's not going to release that easily. So 10 minutes, and then put a base, and then you'll see it in a second. Okay, so we're ready. You could also use a baking tray, a perforated baking tray with paper, like that, and then put it to cool and use it as a base later on. Okay, so now we're gonna cut it and we're gonna eat it. So let me show you a close-up. Like this. We're gonna put our. Do you want a photo? How do we do it with the camera? Babe?
Yeah, let's get a live shot, close up.
We're sometimes struggling with the cameo here, but okay. Let me know if that works.
Yeah, you got it.
There we go, looking pretty. I'm gonna tilt it. I'm gonna put it in a better light. No, over here. There we go, close up there, and now we're gonna cut it. And so you can see here you grab that. Okay, I'm gonna cut that in here. There we go. there is. So the cream cheese looks fresh because it's fresh, but it's gonna set a little firmer. Okay, that's the texture of the cake, and I think we're gonna have to try it. What do you think?
I
Yeah.
wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. We're testing it now. Look at the crumb texture.
All right, hold on. Get in there. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I will test it for you guys and let you know.
Live taste test.
It's so good. You could also add some, I just thought of it, some almond extract. It would be really nice as well.
Okay, great shots. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me unmold the cake so you can see it, and then we're done. Let's take that over here. So there's a metal base or a carton or something. You use cardboard. You could use the bottom of a cake pan or a cake tart pan. Let's bring this over here. And we're gonna, so grab the sides, grab your, I like to pull this like this. And I'm gonna go like that. Now we say a prayer.
All right, everyone pray.
We're praying, and there you can hear it flip. And then pull it out, careful because it's still very hot. And then you pull it out like that, and there you go.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah. Magic. We can see the raspberries. Sometimes the raspberries will stick, so careful with that. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you make it and you like it, and I hope you share it with your mom. I will let you know the effects on my blood sugar, how it turns out, because I like to measure everything I make, and I'll have another piece. And you could literally, we might make this jam that I made today. It's so good. So I might add some raspberry jam next time. Why not? So this was made with RX, the liquid part.
With your liquid RX sugar, yeah.
It's so good. So this is going to take it to the next level.
Maria says healthy and delicious. That's right.
Healthy and delicious, yeah.
That's the chef's specialty.
It has to be delicious first, I think. And
yeah, for those of you that haven't, this is your first time here, like basically the chef's brand promise is she's going to make something healthy that tastes most likely better than if you bought the quote unquote real version or the original version. Yeah. That's kind of like her litmus bar or litmus test is it's got to taste better than the
It's
real
got to taste
one.
better.
So, yeah.
We are competing with the best, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
there you go. Put this on the side like that, and there you go.
All right, well, before we go, let me just remind everyone, first of all, thank you all for being here. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, hit the little bell on the YouTube channel as well. That way you'll know when new stuff is coming out. And we want to thank our sponsor, RX Sugar, who are amazing. We love working with them. And we love working with them because the product is great.
It's right.
I mean, that's kind of like the bottom line. If you want to buy it, go to, we already put the link up on where you can find it in stores. And if you go online, I'll just remind you guys, there's your discount code, Chef Vanessa 20. Get 20% off if you order directly off of their website. And make sure that you enroll and register giveaway. For the giveaway. So RX Sugar has been super generous. They're gonna give away a whole kit of like everything they make.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if it's literally everything they make, but it's gonna be a really, really nice
can you tell us the next date for the next class also?
Yeah, and our next class is on May 4th, and that is a crazy amazing chocolate cake with a creme filling, and it's got like caramel
yeah.
on it, and that's also made with RX Sugar. So
yeah, the whole thing.
totally.
So we're making whipped cream, we're making caramel, we're making the chocolate glaze, we're making the cake, and it was not an easy recipe to develop. That was probably the hardest.
Yeah.
So thank you guys, and make the cake. I'll see you soon. Bye.